One of the critical halachos when it comes to the mitzvah of sukkah is hamitztaer. A person who is suffering is poter min sukkah. They are exempt from sitting in the sukkah. How do we define suffering? Well, if the experience for a person is sitting in the sukkah is one that they're literally suffering to the point that they can't stand being in the sukkah, so the Gemara tells us that that person is poter, that person is exempt. The experience of sitting in the sukkah is supposed to be a positive experience. It's supposed to be an experience that evokes simcha, joy. V'samachta b'chagecha. Hashem wants us to rejoice on the Yom Tov of Sukkos, and therefore, if for a certain individual, for whatever reason, sitting in the sukkah is the opposite, has the opposite effect, that person is poter, that person is exempt from sitting in the sukkah. The Tzemach Tzedek has a beautiful twist on these words that I think can really make such a tremendous impact on us, not only on Sukkot, but throughout the year. He says, hamitztaer, a person who is suffering in general, b'derech kalal, a person who's going through a difficult period in life, a person who is dealing with a challenge that is a very stressful challenge, a person who is down on themselves. That person, hamitztaer, poter, in order for them to become poter, poter means to exempt, but also to be free, right? The person who's mitztaer is free of the mitzvah of sukkah. So the person who's mitztaer, says it Tzemach Tzedek, the person who is suffering, the person who has these challenges, the person who feels very down, poter, in order to exempt themselves, in order to free themselves, in order to bring themselves up, min sukkah. The way to do it is by going into the sukkah. Why? The sukkah is a mitzvah. We're putting our entire bodies into a mitzvah. And by doing so, we'll have a charge to lift ourselves up. And if going through a difficult period of time where nothing could change, at least have a mitzvah to be able to lean on as we go through in order to manage that challenging time. And how powerful it is, because it doesn't only apply to the mitzvah of sukkah and to the Yom Tov of Sukkos, but really it applies to any time we go through a challenging period, a difficult kufa in our lives. If we are somich, if we can lean on a mitzvah, if we can engage and wrap ourselves in a mitzvah, we can lift ourselves up on a spiritual level, and then we're not alone. Then as we go through that time, we connect on that spiritual level to Hashem, and as we do so, we can rely on HaKadosh Baruch Hu, on Hashem, to be there with us as we go through that period, hopefully lifting us up, hopefully getting us to a place in which we feel better about ourselves, about the situation that we're in, and that ultimately we find that sense of shalom, that sense of inner peace and practical peace. May we be zocheh, as we are told, we say in our davening, ufros aleinu sukkah shlomecha, may the sukkah that we dwell in, may HaKadosh Baruch Hu place upon us his sukkah of shalom, his ultimate sukkah, which is the building of the third base, Hamikdash, Harachaman, Hu Yakin Lanu, as Sukkos David Hanofalis. May Hashem raise up, build for us the sukkah of David, which is, of course, the base Hamikdash. May we be zocheh to see it, bimheira biyamenu, wishing everyone a Chag Sameach, a good Yom Tov.